Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's podcast. My name's Charlotte, and I work as a Year 2 teacher in a primary school in London. If you haven't heard any of Hanaz Writers' podcasts before, then have a listen on their podcast channels through Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, YouTube, and Spotify. You can search for Hanaz Writers' podcasts on these websites, and then you can start listening to all of the available podcasts on them. In this podcast, I'm going to be talking about National Poetry Day. It will be happening on Thursday, October the 2nd, 2025. I'm going to talk about how you can help to celebrate the power, the passion, and the peculiar beauty of poetry, not just on this special day, but also in the future. So, whether you're a seasoned sonneteer or someone who hasn't read a poem since school, then stick with me. Because poetry isn't just for academics or for art galleries, it's for you. Yes, you, sitting on the bus, walking your dog, or making coffee right now as you're listening to this podcast. So let's begin with what is National Poetry Day? National Poetry Day is an annual celebration of poetry held across the UK. It's been going strong since 1994, and every year it picks a theme to inspire poems, readings, workshops, and events in schools, libraries, and online. So this year's theme is freedom. So think about the word for a moment, freedom. And what does it mean to you? To some people, it might be the open sky, might be that it's finding your voice. Some people might find that it's the act of writing itself, the ability to express yourself, to release things that you need to be said or written, and to be heard by other people. Poetry gives us that freedom, and it breaks the rules, and it plays with language, and it makes room for silence, mystery, and truth. A bit of poetry history. Let's rewind a little bit. Poetry is one of the oldest art forms in the world, and long before we had books or even writing in the act of writing words, people recited poems to pass them down. They did poems of stories, poems of myths and legends, and emotions as well. Think about Homer's Odyssey, or ancient Chinese poems, or even the epic Sanskrit verses of the Mahabharata. And today, well, poetry lives everywhere. It's not just in books, it's in spoken word, rap lyrics, songs. Listen to your favorite song today, and you'll hear it's poetry in motion. There's lots of TikTok videos, Instagram captions, YouTube videos, and it's everywhere. It's evolved, and it hasn't disappeared at all. National Poetry Day then reminds us of that, and it invites everyone to join the conversation. To mark the day, then, let's take a moment to just breathe and listen. Here's a poem by Anonymous, that captures this year's theme, freedom. Unlocked. A word is a door with no key in the lock. Just speak it. It opens like waves on a rock. Freedom's not fireworks, banners, or might. It's walking alone in the hush of the night. It's laughing too loud or dancing off beat. It's singing a song with unpracticed feet. It's poems half finished and pages left bare. It's silence. It's shouting. It's choosing to care. So pick up your pen or your voice or your phone and write what you feel when you're truly alone. You don't need permission, a reason, or a rule. Freedom begins when you dare to be you. So, how can you celebrate National Poetry Day? Here are a few easy ways. Number one, read a poem out loud. You can read a poem to yourself, a friend, or even a pet. Reading aloud makes the words come alive. That poem I just read to you by Anonymous is being kept alive because I'm reading it to you. At the moment, I'm reading it from words on a paper, but because I've read it, and then it's come to life. Number two, write your own. Start with a single word. Take the word freedom. And just let your thoughts flow with it. It doesn't have to rhyme. Remember, poetry isn't always about rhyming words at the end. You can have free verse poem which doesn't have a rhyme, but it could have a rhythm to it, like rap lyric. It doesn't have to be good or perfect or amazing. You just need to start writing and make it yours. So don't worry about, oh no, this is not all right, or oh dear, this doesn't make sense, or oh, this is not perfect. And it doesn't have to be. Remember, it's what you make of it. What does freedom mean to you, and how can you write about it yourself? Number three, why don't you share a favorite poem of yours online? You can read it out loud, you can write it up, tag it with hashtag National Poetry Day and hashtag Poetry for Freedom, and you can share it with your friends and family and followers that you may have through social media, maybe on your YouTube channel, maybe through your TikTok videos or your Instagram, whatever media that you want to share it with. And you can help to spread the word about your favorite poem and share it with everyone, anyone. Number four, attend a local event. Go and look in your library, check them out. Go to your local bookstore or even a community centre. Many schools host lots of poetry slams or open mic days, or lots of secondary schools and even universities as well. There used to be in Colchester University where I went, there was open mic nights. So you can go to a little bar. They had a bar on campus, and they would allow university students to share their poems and share their songs and share it with everyone else. But just go to a local pub and ask them, do you host poetry nights or do you host open mic nights? Maybe they just do karaoke and you can just join in and sing your favorite song. Remember, songs are also poems as well. So you can just attend a local event. Check your libraries as well. Libraries might have something special going on. I know there aren't many libraries around now, but if you're available at the time and it's open, then why not go and check it out and see what they have to offer? Your local bookstores might even hold a special reading with a special poet. Um, they might be asking someone to attend and to come and read their poem specifically for them. Your local community centre might also be holding a special day or an event on that day or on during that week. And again, they invite people to come and read their poems or they get a special guest to read their own. Number five, support poets, especially independent poets and contemporary voices from different types of poets nowadays. Buy their poetry book. Find a book that you like. Go and read it up in the library or in the bookstore and buy it. Help support them. Maybe if you like it, you can recommend it to your friends. Read it out to them aloud. Read all your favorite poems that you like. Remember, small actions help to keep the art alive. And that's what really kind of matters. And it's kind of what we want people to do nowadays. So why does poetry still matter? As I've just mentioned, it's something that we want to keep alive. It's an art form. These days, you might wonder, in a world of instant messages and texting and AI and endless content, why does it still matter? Because poetry helps to slow us down a little bit, helps us to feel instead of just scrolling through endless videos. So you see one video, 5-10 seconds later, you scroll to the next one, 10 seconds later, scroll to the next one. Poetry helps you to stop and read. And as you're reading, it helps you to reflect instead of react. So you take that time to listen, to read it to yourself and reflect on it. What is this trying to tell me? What is this trying to say? What can I take from this? Instead of just like, oh, that's nice, and then move on to the next thing. Oh, that's nice, move on. You just need to take that time. And sometimes we forget. It's only a moment. It's not like 2 hours of your time. Just take that 10 seconds maybe just to think. Poetry, well, it doesn't give you answers all the time, but it might give you questions as well. When you're reflective, you're thinking about, oh, why did they write it like that? Why is the words written in that way? Why have they got a pause halfway through? And so on and so on. So you get to question things. And it helps you to think of the wonder and amazement of poetry and the writing and why people write things in the way they do. So at a time when everything is competing for our attention, poetry just kind of whispers to us in the corner. And it's that kind of quiet whisper that gets a little bit louder. We often find something profound in what it's saying, or something that we didn't even know that we needed. So on National Poetry Day, I hope that you make a little space for verses and a little space for poems and a a little time to read poems or create your own and have that moment of reflection when you're reading it. I mean, you don't have to write the next Shakespearean sonnet. As I said, you don't have to be perfect in your poem. You don't have to understand every metaphor. But just let poetry do what it's always done. It helps to connect hearts across time and connect space and silence. And remember, you don't have to be a poet to love poetry. But maybe, just maybe, you're a poet for today. And that's all that you need to be for now. Thank you very much for listening to my episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, then don't forget to like and subscribe to Hanaz Writers Limited. Until next time, keep reading, keep writing your favourite poems and stories, and keep finding poetry in everyday life. And here's one final line for you to remember. Poetry is freedom in words and beyond. And that's all for this podcast. And I also just wanted to say that this will be my final podcast with Hanaz Writers Limited. I have had such a wonderful time making these podcasts for them, and I'm sadly going to miss making them. But it's just time for me to say goodbye. And I just want to say a huge thank you to all you listeners out there. Thank you for your support for me and your support for Hanaz Writers and your support for my podcast. Remember, if you did like today's episode, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Hanaz Writers on their podcast channels on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, YouTube, and Spotify. If you're interested in becoming a published author yourself, then why not visit Hanaz Writers' website and you can sign up for free. You can also write your own stories and your poems and get help and guidance on how to publish them through the website. Thank you very much for listening, and this is the last time I'm saying this. Bye!